Hey everybody, welcome to the show. We're going to talk about political implications in comic books. Can that even be a thing? See you on the other side.
Hi, it's John Romita Jr. at San Diego Comic-Con. Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, the best shop in the world, hands down.
By gum, Captain! All the latest home videos in beta and VHS!
Aye, some so current, they're still in theatrical release.
Help yourself, mates. A chest full of video discs.
No!
What good are they?
Can't record on them.
They're not compatible with my system.
Captain, this was lost.
Stand back.
Open that up.
Gather on, my buckos, and feast your eyes on this. Make all the illegal copies you want. Put it on.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Oh, I'm so scared.
Eat.
Do you have any idea what time it is?
What?
The audience and I have been sitting here waiting. This isn't gonna work.
What, because I was a little late?
It's not just that, man. You know, I was raised at a time when people respected each other. The mid-'70s. You came of age at a different time, the late '70s. We're from different generations. So, I don't get your movies or your music, I was into Star Wars. You were into The Empire Strikes Back, I like Bananarama. You like that Bengals shit.
No! Hey, lay off, Pops!
It's people of your generation that wreck things for us, the people of 1 year later.
Everyone is here.
It's quite a turnout.
Look over there. It's the bearded specter. Oh my God, look what he's got on.
Are those giant shorts or tiny pants?
Who still wears those?
Sweetie, isn't that the guy from Depeche Mode?
Oh, no, wait, where? Holy crap, he's with a girl.
Oh yeah, that guy is totally straight. I saw a whole thing about him on the VH1.
But he's the guy from Depeche Mode. It's impossible.
Straight.
Come on, he's in Depeche Mode.
Now, this is something the other tour guides won't tell you. In this particular cell block, Machine Gun Kelly had what we call in the prison system a bitch. And one night, in a jealous rage, Kelly took a makeshift knife, or shiv, and cut out the bitch's eyes.
Hey, you know another thing about Harriet I love?
And as if this wasn't enough retribution for Kelly, the next day, he and 4 other inmates took turns pissing into the bitch's ocular cavities. This way to the cafeteria.
Hello, everybody. I'm Stu Nahan. I'd like you to meet this young man. His name, Jeff Spicoli. And, Jeff, congratulations to you. Things look kind of rough out there today.
Well, I'll tell you, Stu, I did battle some humongous waves. But, just like I told the guy on ABC, danger is my business.
A lot of people expect that maybe Mark Cutback Davis or Bob Jungle Death Gerard would take the honors this year.
Oh, those guys are fags.
That's fantastic. Let me ask you a question. When you get out there, do you ever fear for your life?
Well, Stu, I'll tell you, surfing's not a sport. It's a way of life, no hobby. It's a way of looking at that wave and saying, Hey, bud. Let's party. Where'd you get this jacket?
I got this in the network. Let me ask you a question. What's next for Jeff Spicoli?
Headed over to the Australian and the Hawaiian Internationals, and me and Mick are gonna wing on over to London and jam with the Stones. You guys are invited too.
Esha, agada naibit. Sa nabuit.
Matsichug. Emma Soik.
Ah, nanimazoik. Gigagugat.
We're Americans to be critical in a time of war. Even the Democrats are smart enough to keep their mouths shut on this.
Edward R. Murrow said we should never confuse dissent with disloyalty.
Edward R. Murrow is media. And he's dead. Dead don't count.
What?
Registered commies, not guns.
Oh, he was probably a member of the National Rifle Association. There was a group that helped criminals get guns so they could shoot citizens. It was a public service.
Well, what happened?
Oh, well, it got so that every pissant prairie punk who thought he could shoot a gun would ride into town to try out the Waco Kid. I must have killed more men than Cecil B. DeMille. It got pretty gritty. I started to hear the word draw in my sleep. And one day, I was just walking down the street, and I heard a voice behind me say, "Reach for it, mister." I spun around, and there I was, face to face with a 6-year-old kid. Well, I just threw my guns down and walked away. Little bastard shot me in the ass. So I limped to the nearest saloon, crawled inside a whiskey bottle, and I've been there ever since.
We think the monkey's 100% right. We're spending so much money, millions of dollars to blow up the moon, when there's so much right here on Earth to blow up. Mount Everest, the North Pole, etc. We're Earthlings. Let's blow up Earth things. We're Earthlings. Let's blow up Earth things.
In our national anthem, we've got bombs bursting in the air, for God's sakes. We drive around with our shotguns on the outside of the pickups so the neighbors will see them. The first sound of democracy came from a gun like this one. And that's why the ban on assault weapons has been allowed to lapse. It's all about our basic civil rights. It's about democracy. It's about freedom. Denny Crane.
Let's get back to
Right, so these punks,
Yes.
I don't know if they wanted money or they wanted something more sexual.
Wow.
But it's a lucky thing I had my pieces.
Your pieces.
My guns.
Oh.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bang!
Wow.
Bang! Well, I don't see so good, so I missed. Then they ran away. I ran after them.
Okay.
Bang! Try to shoot them in the back. But I don't run so good either. Anyway, you guys all think I'm a hero, and I'll accept that responsibility.
Oh, come out to our blast jowl.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch.
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. Everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest, so
Originally settled as Ocean View during the 1850s, the city's population boomed with displaced
But in my own way, I am king. Hail to the king, baby.
Hey there, everyone. Welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents. I'm here to tell you about a guy that owns a comic book store.
My name is Yule Carter, comic book retailer in Berkeley, California.
That's right. Every Wednesday through Sunday from 12 to 5 p.m., I sell comics to people. All kinds of people. All sorts of things about people I know and don't want to know anything about. I almost forgot one of the stories I wanted to tell you today. It's been a weird week, I think. And now we got another one coming. Every time I play that guns video that I play, I ain't getting no money from YouTube. I play it a lot. I'm the kind of guy that wants to laugh at pain and suffering. My own, I fell down the other day. I laughed. I fucked up on ordering comics recently, and it's been taken care of, but there is a bit of a time situation. And you know, after you are upset with yourself, all you can do is really laugh and try and figure out what you did and how it couldn't have possibly been the way it is. It was totally the way you thought it was. Yeah. But I can be serious about it. I feel like, but I want to tell you about Wednesday. I don't want to get too into it, but it is about comic books because it happened in the store. And I get these texts from people, some you may know. And they say, Charlie Kirk's been shot. And he may be dead. And maybe a thing or two more. And there was a video attached to something. And I looked at it and I was like, what? He's kind of bouncing around. And I thought, oh, this gotta be like AI or something like this. I've heard all sorts of stories recently. I've listened to a lot of people talking about it, how they found out and stuff. And it's like, whoa, this is a thing that's really out there. But I think it's also been driven into the ground so much that I really don't want to talk about it too much. And even at the time, I didn't want to talk about it because busiest part of the week, got a bunch of brand new customers come in, and I felt like as long as I'm going to stay open, I don't really want to get too deep in the weeds. So I let a certain customer know about this. Like, I don't want to hear about it. Because, it's going to affect the store possibly. I don't need to bring anybody down. And, even though the day was busy and I had really good brisk sales, there was, I don't know, it felt like at a certain time, since the normal chats weren't going to be around, and it just seemed like after like 3, the last 2 hours were really pretty dead. And that's also because Fantinuum's been coming in earlier in the day than later in the day. So that's another reason. So I'm kind of like waiting for Fantinuum to show up half hour past closing. And then, but nobody was showing up. So I'm just there after everything. I'm just like kind of watching some videos. But during the day, I was like, I didn't want to listen to any of the same mixes of music that I had, and I just wanted to watch some Dodger baseball, conversation about it. So I had that on, but all the chat was going crazy about it, and I'm like, I can't be involved with these motherfuckers at all. I wanted to just baseball. I'm really upset about the relief pitching going on right now. And Dave Roberts, anytime he has to make decisions, it's very scary. You know what I mean? So you've heard it many a time in many a place. I don't really need my politics involved in the other thing. And then there was a comic book video, and I knew exactly that it was going to be all talking about Charlie Kirk, but I walked into it anyway. Oh, it was on like Donkey Kong, let me tell you. And the host was just talking hella shit, and I like talking. tappity, and he was already set off, so anything I was going to say wasn't going to make a difference, and I wasn't trying to be a peacekeeper anyway. But I was like, oh yeah, and yeah, like this hasn't ever fucking happened, or like I need to forget about this or that. So the comic angle was ruined right there. And then a video popped up, and I'm not on X anymore, but I think I should get into the best of last week, and then we can get a little deeper into this. Let me get this up, and check this out. I can make myself small over here. Oh, and you can't even see me because of the banner. That's great. I don't have to feel like I'm turning off my camera. Oh, you can see my weak chin. Shouldn't have shaved. Yeah, I'll just sit like this. Anyway, best of last week. We should talk about some comics first and then lead into the story a little bit deeper. I have a bunch of runner-ups. Runner-up, Transformers number 24. How can that be a runner-up, Yule? That should be like, it's the culmination of Daniel Warren Johnson being on the book. Yule screwed up and didn't get it, but it will be in, not this week, but next. Please stay with me, especially if you want a chance at the 1 in 50. And people have won. All right, coming in next, we have Blood Squad 7, number 10. It was a fantastic issue, but man, I was blown away by some of the performances of some of the issues you get to see. Conan the Barbarian, it's cigarette bucket does really well for me. Didn't make the list. The Undead Iron Fist, a lot of people coming in telling me they really liked it. It sold really well. I think I have like a copy or two left. It's pretty much a sellout. I think it's that Jason Liu guy, and I don't think he's written anything I've ever cared about. So congrats to that dude, and we got a few more issues to go. And Ultimate Wolverine number 9 is another cigarette book. It sells really well, but coming in at 5, we have X-Men of the Apocalypse Alpha. I didn't really think that was going to do as well as it did, but I've got some variant covers and a few issues that were pulled aside accidentally, but I think this is going to do really well. And as far as the miniseries is concerned, I don't know about all that Age of Revelation bit, but this is another thing altogether. Imperial War Nova Centurion. I kept my numbers the same, and I didn't know that I really needed to go higher. But unfortunately, or fortunately for me, the She-Hulk sold out. The Black Panther, I think I have one issue of that left, and the Imperial War Nova Centurion sold out. So these little miniseries, as long as I keep the numbers tight, it's pleasing people, and I'm happy. Everybody's happy. One World Under Doom, number 7 of 9. So we've got 2 more issues to go. This is a really strong seller. I keep it out on the floor because most often I don't put miniseries on the cigarette shelf. Although I guess technically Ultimate Wolverine's a 12-issue series. Absolute Martian Manhunter is a 12-issue series, but they've got the ongoing feel. You know what I mean? Absolute Batman, number 12, a book I ordered more than I have of any of the other issues, and it came in number 2. Wow, did this sell well? I was shorted some copies, so I still have some variants and a few more of the regular cover coming in. But I have no doubt that this is going to be a sellout, just like all the others. And coming in for next week, there's a bunch of variants 1 through 7 that just came in. One by Jay Lee that's really good. But what could be better? Better. We're gonna go for notoriety. Okay. What could be more? What kind of more notoriety than Absolute Batman? Why, it's the book of the week, the best of last week. It was actually an interesting book. It wasn't one that I read every single word of, but the action was cool, the art was cool, the story seemed pretty tight. But it was never going to be my type of book anyway. Batman, bring back the dead, put a gun in his hand, Red Hood. With the Huntress, you put the Huntress in and then start thinking about it. Jeff Spokes, like I said, did some really awesome artwork, and all the variant covers were really cool. There was a Brian Boland one, a Jay Lee one, a Jim Lee one, just really neat looking ones. And it seemed like this was a series that they were putting their best foot forward. Unfortunately, the writer of the book, Gretchen Felker Martin, had decided to go on Twitter, and in the style of the day, in the you go on X, you go on Twitter, and you post something about something that just happened. I just had the greatest bowel movement I've ever had. I mean, really, it was the shit of all shits, and people love to talk about that kind of stuff. And I don't know if I meant to juxtapose that with Charlie Kirk getting shot, but this person decided to go to X and talk some smack, use the Nazi word, and made a joke at the bullet's expense. Probably, if you would have told it a little bit later, the wound was fresh, you know what I mean? I had a customer come in when nobody else was around. He was all, "Did you see the video?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did see the video. I thought it was fake." And he's all, "No, that's just like kind of like a front shot." And then I saw it, and I'm not the kind of guy that wants to see Sid break his step wrong in the wrestling ring. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember the faces of death and stuff like that, but you're a kid. I was never really into watching people like bite it or fucking video programs with someone's nuts getting fucking smashed. Punked, pranked, jackass. No, none of that stuff. Partially it was because I was childish in a different way. Comic books. And it's not always comic books. It's not that comics kept me out of trouble or anything like that. But so I saw that. And wow, that was quite the scene. And I was listening to a lot of people talking about it because I listen to videos about people talking about politics and stuff like that, current up to the minute stuff. And then repackaged by another person or by the same person, but in a different way with a different title that pretty much said the same fucking thing. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Unsubscribe. Think about the people that were, witnessing that. Oh, this person died and this person's family has a loss. All these people witnessed it. Some fans, some not fans, some people that never wanted to see that ever in their life. And it's like, wow, that's crazy. And then like 30 minutes later, there's another shooting at another school. How can you not laugh? You know what I mean? Whew. But nobody said anything shitty there. Thank goodness. Who knows who would have gotten fired at Marvel? You know what I mean? Hey, man. Jill says, sorry, Jill, suggests that maybe people might not understand by my openings about my dislike of guns. Fuck them if you can't figure it out. Who does that? Are you not watching them? Yeah, people don't watch. You can't help what your viewers do. Even though all the conspiracies that were thrown out so casually and so haphazardly by stupid people on YouTube, presidents, just saying all sorts of dumbass things. My favorite one was Nancy May. She's my favorite person to watch say something stupid. And she came out and she's all, this is all on the Democrats. And I mean, I kind of heard that over on one of the comic book shows I was listening to. And then one of the reporters asked her, well, like a month ago, some Minnesota senator died, and that was by a Trump supporter. Should we be then, she's like, we're talking about Charlie Kirk right now. Now, you were talking about the Democrats, actually. I think you were. Yeah, a lot of people throwing a lot of stuff out, and we're finding out a lot of stuff. And then all the stuff is being gathered up. And this is just like when Buckwheat got shot. You know what I mean? I should have got that clip. Go watch it later. Buckwheat getting shot on SNL. It was a sad event. And it was like, so they're going and they're interviewing people where the guy who shot Buckwheat's from. And they're like, oh, he was the nicest guy, very quiet, but kept to himself. But was kept everything neat and blah blah blah. And they're like, well, he is expected to have shot Buckwheat. He's like, oh yes, I totally believe that he did that. And it's just, that's the one. Anyway, you're like, well, that doesn't make this book a best of last week, Yule. Red Hood, some dummy getting in trouble for saying something. Well, there were a lot of people that were coming out and making videos on this book, and one was Perch, and I'm a big fan of comics by Perch, and he had one called "If You're DC, You Have to End Red Hood Now," and this was like an hour and a half after, like, he jumped his order of videos just like that. He didn't care if he was going to make a cent off this one. He had to get this out. And he had to say, this has to end. Like, DC can't let it keep going. He talked about it, somewhat morally, but mostly like financially and as a company, how you can't let your employees be doing stuff like this. And he also let people know that the people that he knows were talking about how this person is a lightning rod, the writer. And in spite of that, they've given this person Red Hood, a lot of promotion, a lot of covers. DC's really firing on all cylinders right now. And like I said, the book was pretty cool if you dig this kind of a book. But even so, the book, it gets canceled. But I'm going to let our boy Swagglehouse pick up now, and I'm going to tell you why that's the best of last week.
As the book has now been canceled and Lunar asked for a recall from comic book stores to send their books back in, many comic book shops or people that already had the book in hand decided not to do that and definitely flooded the secondary market with all of the copies that you guys can see. And what is so crazy about it is how many are actually being sold. I actually do believe that not only is this book, on the top of the Key Collector Trending 20 list, but depending on what places like Cover Price or some of the other hot lists websites decide to do, I do wonder if they are actually going to put this book on their #1 list. I'm not saying if they should or they shouldn't. I think for them, their job is just to basically report what is happening. Kind of like how I view my YouTube is just basically here to report, sales and what's going on in the secondary market.
Well, you don't want to report anything you're not allowed to talk about, like anything Charlie Kirk said in the past. You can only refer to certain people glowingly, or else it's possibly going to be political speech again. Did you know that an MSNBC guy was just a contributor, not even like a host? Just came out and spewed the shit about how Charlie Kirk said all this stuff. And if you kind of put stuff in the world, sometimes you can get it back. Got fired. Did you know over on Fox, they were saying hell of shit, talking about civil wars and all this other shit? Not a goddamn thing. But people called for this dude on a left channel, MSNBC, canned freedom of speech. Fuck that shit. All the fuckers on Fox, we're going to talk about killing people. It's just a slip of the tongue, and I didn't really mean it. It was in conjunction with this other thing that's going on. Ain't no problem if it's a red state, right? I'm saying this because I want you to know that there's at least one comic book person that says this kind of stuff, because there is almost nobody out there that would say this in comics, because it's freaking ridiculous. I went on that Comics by Perch channel, and I was like, I'm going to make a comment down there. And I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to say. And I want you guys to judge me on this and how positive or negative. Well, I mean, I'm going to kind of slant it to my point of view, but you know what I mean? Tell me if I'm wrong. We have to do something about guns, period. That's just period. Maybe if there were more, that were more people's point of view. And I left it there, no period. Left it hanging. And the replies I got, dumbest thing I've read on the internet all day. The problem isn't an inanimate object. It's poor impulse control. Someone said, no guns, and someone like Kirk would have been stabbed to death from 250 yards away. I don't respond to this. Just like in England, France, and Spain, lots of knife violence. Yeah, but not knife deaths. There's a video where this guy is saying, there are more deaths by hammer. And this guy looks it up and he's like looking up what gun deaths in America are and what any other blunt object is. And it's hilarious. I had one person who's a viewer of the show say, I need to see if I've unfollowed Fantastic Comics. I'm done, man. Like the comics chat, but I'm out if you're mad at an inanimate object and not the effing shooter. With the amount of guns we have in the US, we can give every person 1.5 firearms. And I said, Jill, you and I don't have a gun. That's 3 guns. I don't want you having my goddamn gun. You know what I mean? How about that? You don't get my gun. You don't get my 1.5 guns just because I don't want it. This isn't. Sure, you can't shoot 7 at the same time. It's not even that. It's not even that. It's just that it never has been tried the other way. Ever. We almost got rid of comics entirely at one time. Burn them. I see comments on other things with comic book talk, and people are like, oh, well, DC should fire everybody involved. Sure. Go ahead. You've been loving DC up until this point. Just anyway, the book got canceled. Swaggle saved me from myself.
It's pretty crazy to see how many of these books are selling. Obviously, it's being branded as a quote unquote controversial issue, canceled series. And that's kind of what, I guess in some ways is making it attractive to comic book collectors, why they think that they want to pick it up.
Oh, you mean ghouls? We'll see if I'm a hypocrite or not in a second. Yeah, that's what happens. I specifically sold this comic book to somebody that was like, I don't think I really want this. And I just kind of know the person. And I said, okay, this is history here, like they're going to want to get rid of it and never mention it again. And it's gone. And I mean, yeah, sure, there's the internet site that pirates it and shit like that. But they're never going, like, with the name of the person that did it, never going to be seen again if they ever come out with, the trade of it. Grant Morrison writes Red Hood 1 through 6. All right, cool. You're never going to see that again. I think a little bit of that is the reason why it's okay to that's the reason why to get it. It's not necessarily ghoulishness, but there is a ghoulish aspect to it a lot. And when you're putting it up online anyway, that's the carny aspect of comics. Oh, it's not my store, it's somebody else. I don't make any money off internet sales. I have bought things for the store for customers on the internet, but I don't sell on the internet anymore. I've sold over, PayPal and stuff with people though. It's great. I like shipping. I like finding out I didn't screw up on shipping. So I go, bring it home.
For me personally, if I was somebody that had this book, I would send it back to Lunar. I wouldn't want to touch this thing. I think no matter how you feel about the situation, no matter like if you sort of are somebody who agreed politically with Charlie Kirk or you didn't, I think it's sort of a spiritual or karmic decision that you need to make with yourself on this.
Karmic? We're going back to karma again? Well, I would say something about Charlie Kirk then. Also, I'm going to sell the thing, or not. I mean, I haven't even paid attention to what Lunar has to say about it. I know that there were going to be some customers that were going to be hot for it, some customers that would be interested in it, and some customers I've never ever met before, and they came in and bought 3 copies. I don't know. I didn't ask why they were getting it. They didn't tell me why they're getting it. It's not for me. I mean, I sell comics. You know, I can justify it by saying I gave the persons what they want, and that's my job. And I've heard for the longest time by people that that's exactly what you're supposed to do. And I also feel that when a person threatens you with not listening to your show anymore, firstly, you obviously haven't been paying attention to that. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I was being nice when I said sorry to see you go. But if that's the way it's going to be because you have jumped the gun on my comment about guns, I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. And that's the best comics of last week. All right, I'll make it pay off. I'll pay it off this way.
We didn't come to borrow any money. We didn't come to borrow any dough. We didn't come to borrow any trouble. We just stopped in to say hello. Oh, hello to you, Mr. Manny. Please don't think that we are hammy. We just stopped in from Alabama. We just stopped in to say hello. Oh boy, you said it. We just stopped in to say hello. And don't forget it. We just stopped in to say hello. And I'm hello. Hello. Goodbye.
Fantinuum. Politics and comics. Nah, really? Comics are political? Who'd have thought? Let me take a stab at the topic. Superman is better with the trunks. Am I close? I think you're off just a bit there. It's true, though. I don't know. Like, if you can't handle the trunks because you're like, man, he's wearing underwear outside leggings, his pants. You got to look at it done by Darwin Cook. Now, that's the way. Jeez. All right. Spider Guy, make comics again. I mean, seriously, Perch wasn't like calling for this person's head, but he was pretty. He responded to my thing about guns and said, you know, having them is the problem because, you know, people do things with them. I'm paraphrasing. But then he's also saying, but there's the proliferation has already happened, and he's kind of like making excuses for it as far as I'm concerned, because he always tells the story about Diamond Comics and how they kept it just going the way it's going. Just kept going the way it's going. Let's keep doing it. Let's keep fucking the stores, you know. Let's do it. And now look at them. And I look at all the companies that went along with it and were totally okay with it. And then the Diamond selling their shit and not giving any of their money to those people. Eric O'Sullivan, a member for 22 months. You can be a member of the channel. Do it. It's just like a comic book. One a month. It means you're cool and your shit will turn green like that. Boops to Gizmo. All right, let me get you a Gizmo picture. Boom. Oh, he's so young there. He's also right behind me right now. So if you hear any coughing, you'll know what that's all about. Unless it's me. Let's keep going. Let's please keep going. Jilby Pill, hello. Joaquin's here. How's it going? Jagron 2's here. Also, Joaquin. So it's Simon, Nick, John, Dom, and Drummer. And you mean and the drummer. I thought it was Andy. Is Andy not in the band anymore? I don't think he died or anything, did he? If so, I'm so. Oh, Robert Redford died. Anybody know about that today? Yeah, Simon Le Bon. He's talking about he's going to be working a Duran Duran show, and I said, well, get a Simon Le Bon promo for the store if you can. I always tell him that. Get a promo. Mountaineer Mint says it's Ogre, yeah, in that opening clip. Nerds. I should do. God, that movie's been ruined for me. I can't like that movie. Oh, and Roger Drummer. Roger Drummer. Is that his name, really? Best time was my time, the last real time of all times. It's only goddamn Tuesday up in this bitch. We still have 3 more days of a news cycle left, too. Oh my goodness. Well, so again, funny thing about all that stuff happening, it all happened, and Trump said something about it like at 4:45, and then that's when the news picks it up, and it really runs with shit. And I guess they did another vote on the Epstein thing so they could halt that a bit. Yule, you are like the invisible man lately, only on the phone, my friend. Did a live unboxing for a figure, but also managed to get a poly bag Batman #1 and unbagged. Got Jim Lee cover, not the 1 in 500. I can say this: I had no idea who he was until he got shot. Jagron. Funny enough, I listened to a lot of stuff, and I knew that Kirk did the Gavin Newsom show, but it's hard to love Gavin, even if he's like kind of clowning on the president. But I only knew things that he said, and most recently because of one of those Jubilee videos that's getting that play. This is before a week ago, where he's talking about girls going to college to find a mate and get an MRS degree. I never knew that meant Mrs. It was a Mrs. degree. It's funny if I'm a kid in the 80s. Okay, but now I'm just laughing like I was a kid in the 80s. I really didn't know who he was. I know that they made fun of his face and that was a meme or something like that. But other than that, you can ask Jill. For the longest time, I've seen the meme, and then she was watching Parks and Rec, and that Christian dude goes, and that was the meme, right? Everybody knows that. And I'm like, holy shit, this is the thing where it comes from. Good Tuesday night, Yule. Dwayne, good to you. Not near man. I'm glad I was driving home from Key West and back for 8 hours and to the LCS on a Wednesday, or I could have been an idiot writing things that could lose me my job. Well, I mean, also don't be Yeah, I mean, I try and keep everything very positive. And if I'm going to be not positive, I'm going to be as real as possible. And it's kind of like, I mean, you've heard me tonight, right? I mean, I'm just kind of, Gavin Newsom's a hard guy to get behind. I think that says it all about me. But these fucking Trumpers, man, they just can't accept anything. Did you know the sun didn't come up yesterday? Absolute Batman 12 was definitely the book of the week last week. Well, I would say Blood Squad 7 for me was a strong contender that I'd put up against anything for real. But I thought it led into the conversation better this way. Also, Transformers was really good, but I think my expectations were too high. I can't imagine how high they could get, but that's cool. That's cool. I feel bad for the artist on Red Hood. The art is way too good for the book. I really just kind of like, all right, so look, seriously. Can we just not have somebody like Scott Snyder or Helk? Maybe for like a one-time only thing, DC can figure out a way to get Jeff Johns back so that he could pen the rest of the series and rewrite the first one. But I think since it's in-house, Scott Snyder would be a way to go. But like any of those things, like the character itself is then damaged, right? I mean, let's be real about it. If this series is damaged, then anybody in this book is damaged. And seriously, since I'm talking about guns, do we really need another fucking superhero looking like the Red Hood, like some fucking 90s reject? Seriously? It was a bad idea to bring that character back. It's been a bad idea. It's not, I don't care. I understand that there have been people that have been, as long as there's been people playing Hell, oh God, I fuck the name up. Helldivers 2. There's been people reading Red Hood comic books. Fuck them. They don't matter. Unless they got a gun 250 yards away. I'd rather it be a knife, though. It'd be cool. You know what I mean? I think, you know what? If it was a knife 5 feet away from me or a gun 5 feet away from me, I'd still rather take the knife, you know? Now, if I'm tied up and I have to take my chances, I'll go with the gun. One book getting no talk but was really good was Children of the Round Table from DC. Holy cow! I forced it on some of my family member type customers. Spider Guy says it was pretty good. All right, good. Nothing good ever comes from being on Twitter. Just bad things happen. I got a lot of clips from Twitter, I'll tell you. A lot of them. I can bring them up right now. I like Twitter. I like community. You know, I mean, when I'm not at the comic store or look, I can tell you what my customers like. I want to know what you guys like too. And I'd like to hear the conversation. And I did read letters pages. And I think it's a damn shame. And it's a major reason why comics aren't as important as they used to be, is because of a lack of letters page. I know it's hard to believe, but I really, really do believe this. And I'm not talking about the fake ones that were made up, you know, or anything. When people really passionately wrote in. I remember when the death of the Phoenix occurred. And like a couple issues later, this girl writes in, this young woman writes in, and she's saying, you know, for her, she knows what it's like to be let down by Marvel Comics. Oh, that's a true statement. That's a classic right there. But she's on, you know, I'm not even really that hurt that, you know, you had to go and kill a female character off like that. But you know what? My kid's sister picked up that book. And before I could even let her know anything about it, she had read that issue. And she was distraught. And she goes off, this letter writer. And she goes off saying, oh yeah, God of Thunder Thor has all this power, but he doesn't go crazy. And all this stuff happens to all these people, but nothing ever happens to them ultimately. It's always like, you know, a female character or something. And there's no fucking way Jean Grey should be suffering this treatment. Great. Just great. And I might not have ever read that or thought of that way. And it's like stuck with me ever, like more than the comic book maybe. And there you go. I think that's been you want to know what I think of the failure of comics? The letters pages, the communication with the fans, this is a really good letter writer and he wrote into a book that I liked and he's recognizing that this is a book that's worth the shit. Who's this person? Who fucking cares? But you know what? You might be the only one that likes the shitty comic book. It happens all the time with me. Court was a lot better than I expected, but it is Tom Taylor. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. People of all stripes can hate Tom Taylor together. I had to consider picking up Red Hood, but I just went, nope, not right now. Do not have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. If you're at, and you, Jagran, I don't think you would be, but how about those prices of some of those books? And of course, there's FOMO involved and stuff like that. I think that's the reason why that's another reason. It's just, this is a blip in time, best of the week, not best of the year. I need a copy of number 24. Wait, 20. Oh, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I promise. Don't get antsy. I already ordered them. I read the book. Art way outshine the writing. DC seeks out the untalented. Jason Bush. Hi, Jason. I don't think it was like the greatest story. Very rarely are there going to be guy with guns stories that I personally am going to enjoy. You know, and Lithador says Perch was right about DC having to fire the writer. I agree. But then you get the comments from so who are you trying to, all right. Who are you trying to please? I mean, I hear this in politic conversation all the time, but let's be real about it. Let's work this out a little bit. Writer said something shitty. Writer said something shitty about things that were less shitty than Charlie Kirk. Before. This writer said something about something I personally take very, I look at it as a pivotal point in America's, the foundational structure that's just being destroyed started in 2001. And how dare you fucking say that? But, we're all Americans. I'm not from New York. I've never been. But I think, you should, I think saying something stupid about that isn't as bad as truthers, right? I remember being on BART one day when I didn't drive, and I'm standing there and I'm not looking at people, but at the picture in front of me, the advertisement. And I'm looking at this, and it's a 9/11 conspiracy site. And I'm like, I'm gonna be a Ken and call up BART and their advertising department, and I'm gonna let them have it. Well, how dare you guys have this shit? I mean, this is the Bay Area. Don't you know your customers? We don't want to see this fucking shit. Guy said I could turn around. I said, you better not. I don't think I said it that way. How's your father? In 10 years, how many people will have a pristine copy of Red Hood #1? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Perch is the voice of reason. Oh, yeah. So going back to firing the writer, who are you trying to please by getting rid of the writer? Okay, because almost everybody that had a problem with the writer said it was too little too late. Fire the rest. These are the same people that almost always say don't apologize. Don't give in. Don't admit defeat. Don't say I was wrong. I was wrong. I didn't order Transformers 24. I'm sorry. I'm paying for it. Trust me. But you can't get a 1 in 50 chance if you don't buy it from me. So, all right. So you fire this writer. You end the book. There's 3 issues already written. There's 2.5 already drawn. And you're going to pay these people anyway, whether they did it or not. And you just blew up any chance of this character being worth a shit for, I don't know, in about 10 years. Trust me, it wasn't going to happen in between that time either. And those people are like, fuck DC altogether. I'm kind of done with reading it anyway. Or I haven't read DC since this time. Oh, so yes, they did need to get rid of this person, but maybe, just maybe, they didn't need to end the book. And if they did anything like I said, oh, we're going to have a reissue of the first issue. There's going to be a rewrite of the second issue, and it's going to be fan favorite. Pick a person. If anybody can come to a consensus better than Scott Snyder, let me know. But you know, there you go. Fan favorite. You know, Marv Wolfman comes to finish this shit. The only person that could, Jim Starlin. That'd be good, right? So I don't know. I don't know if necessarily every aspect of it needed to happen. But yeah, that person did need to get fired and probably shouldn't have been hired. But when you're dancing with the devil, I think something's going to happen to you. I disagreed with Perch that you can't criticize Kirk as part of this. Yeah, I look, seriously, I mean, no matter what I think I know about Charlie Kirk, or what I do know, or what anybody else thinks about him and whatnot, and I'm not trying to be all in the middle or anything, because I got strong views about the whole thing. I mean, there are definitely words that I would associate with that person, and one wouldn't be Christian. Okay. But we all praise our Lord in different ways, you know. And he was getting all the RIPs, and he was getting all the man of God shit. You look, if you're doing it for fun, if you're doing it for clicks, if you're doing it for money, that's just as bad as really believing it. And some of that shit, it just ain't 2025 anymore, you know what I mean? Jagron 2. Yeah, that writer had to be fired. It's possible that book could have been good over time, but now it's toast. And do we think Red Hood, the character, there you go. There you go, baby. And I mean, seriously, maybe Marvel and DC could come together and they could just have Punisher and Red Hood shoot each other in the head and get it over with. Because both of those characters need to be gone. Sorry, all my customers that love Punisher. MSNBC had to fire him because Trump would have gone after them. Oh, yeah, like he did the New York Times today for 15. I put the notes down. $1 billion. And anytime he got specific, it was because they said he wasn't the best in this thing that he was doing. Think about that. Sorry to get all political, but I said it was political in comics. How much did the gun that killed Lincoln go for in the last auction? People want history, but people have a very short attention span to remember this. You know, it's funny. Earlier today, I was listening to a video and someone was talking about, you know, political violence today. I'm going to do a video on Lincoln. There's been political violence all the damn time. That's what America's all about. Guns and killing people, especially presidents. I know there's other places. You got to stick with the secret law of attraction. I am really in a hole for new comics with my Ultimate Universe time coming to an end soon, not picking up any Age of Revelation or any of the Imperial new series. Marvel is becoming a black hole to me. Hulk is coming back and I've been enjoying it. The naysayers are incorrect. 27 was great. Only thing I've added was Punisher by Palmiotti and DCKO. Well, you know, you got some really cool miniseries and things going on right now, and sometimes those just have to be the things that suffice until the next thing picks up. There's been really, really laggy times. I don't need to tell you guys about Marvel Edge, do I? Because there was nothing good. Daredevil and Hulk and Punisher should not be in the same imprint, okay? And it sucked just because of the stink of the other characters. And Daredevil, even though they had some people on it that are going to be great people later on in comics, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. The Matt Murdock becoming cited again. Oh, just horrible. So if I'm wrong to think that Hush Part 2 is never going to get done, no, it will get done. It has been delayed to 2026 for January, so I hear. Freedom of speech, Sir Gonzo says, not freedom from consequences. Art was cool. For sure. But what I'm saying is it always seems to be, maybe not in comic books. Comics are so small potatoes that if you do anything to ripple the water outside, you can't make big splashes. Oh, I'm doing a story about Christ, slumming it with another superhero. Yeah, sounds like he stole my idea. But, the Christian right, the Southern Baptists are really upset. Who the fuck cares? Do they know how to read? I'm not sure. Don't get too crazy. The person needed to get fired. You could have just kept the book going, and just put a many hands as the writer. It's a classic move, fully denounce them and say, but our character is a person and the story that's going on is something we're going to stand by, and we're going to let our best writer come in and pick it up and save the day. Don't not get this book, but instead they're like, bring it on in. We're going to suck all that money up. Well, good. I'm glad. We're going to suck up all that history. Not out there anymore. We don't ever want you to know that there was a time when we actually thought about putting out a Red Hood comic. 10 years goes by, they try it again. Oh, I did Before the Dog. All right. Every Marvel book I'm buying is either Ultimate, a miniseries, or canceled. And Hulk, which I'm close to firing. Not only that, $4.99 and $5.99 pile has outweighed the $3.99 titles. Marvel is still doing a lot of $3.99 titles, but X-Men and Avengers and Spider-Man are $4.99. I'm hearing lots of reports. I just saw the South Park on the Labubus. How many comics you buy is entirely up to you. But at $5-6 for an independent book, that's not that bad. And I would highly recommend checking out anything that James Robinson has been doing lately. He did that really good Patra, which was a little girl that had to beat up the serial killer. She was murdered by him, so she's a ghost, and it's pretty freaking awesome. Great art by Scott Collins. Welcome to the Maynard is a really good little 4-issue miniseries. LGBTQ lady friendly, like a lot of James Robinson comics are. So there's and then he's doing a new one right now. I can't remember the name of it. So James Robinson is doing some really good stuff. And if you're down with Godzilla, there's some really, really good art in some of the books that are coming up. And I know not everybody's into it, but Godzilla is going to go up against Kansas City soon. Kansas City. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, the Hush Part 2 is going to be a miniseries. I see. I didn't realize. Well, dude, we'll see. They could have done Red Hood 2 as the Charlie Kirk Memorial issue. How's your father? We don't give awards on the show for comment of the night, but if I was going to do it, it would be this one right now. That's the worst type of thing. Now, I wouldn't even have said anything like that in any of the comments that I did. Just kind of like, oh yeah, what about isms? But it's just like, God, man, you realize that they made a big deal about flying the flag at half staff, right? I thought it was half mast. Anyway, on 9/11, never forget. Never forget. God damn. It's like, really? Congress people die, children die on the same day. If I lowered the flag all the time, I'd be doing it all the time because there's always something. What he meant was there's always a gun death. You see, the thing is like you can be gay and trans and straight and homophobic and Muslim and anti-Muslim and Jewish or anti-Jewish or, I know I should say anti-Semitic or anti-DC, anti-Marvel, anti-whatever. And there's only one thing in shootings that's always a constant. Always. I saw Rambo growing up. Good movie. Oh, well, First Blood, I mean. Good movie. Rambo 3, I didn't like Rambo 2. Rambo 3 was like masturbating with guns on screen, and willing to wallow in it for a while. Just kind of splash around like a pig in it. And I grew up I was telling Jill, Top Gun was a big movie that came out. The Air Force, the Army, they loved giving as much money as they possibly could to make sure that it all looked really good. Meanwhile, at that time, Platoon was coming out, and they were like, "Hey, can we get a little bit of assist?" Yeah, we're not going to look too good in this. I don't think we care at all. All the Full Metal Jackets, all the gangbanger movies, just 80s and 90s Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Some of my favorite things are the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. But yeah, whatever. I'll be dead before it matters. I can't ever believe that Lee will get that miniseries. He should finish up the Frank Miller one too. Like, there's no reason why 2 more issues can't be done by them. And if they can't get him to do it, get Fabric to do it. If he didn't sign an exclusive. Oh, I am doing still Infernal Hulk. I am still really liking the Hulk comic, minus the Marvel gives away the end of the previous series. We'll see. I don't know. Although they call this one Infernal, so I kind of guess I know what's going on. But I am buying a lot of DCs and indies. Yeah, there you go, the floor. Exactly. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, oh man, I get on Blood Squad 7. If you're a fan of a superhero book, but you're like, superheroes just haven't grown up with me, this is the one. And even more so than The Authority. So don't be scared by it. It's not like you're going to be all Jagron says, I fell out of my seat. I had a good laugh at Wes Solicit's video. He read the solicits for Infernal Hulk when I told him don't. After he read it, he went, oh, bleep. Lane Kramer told me not to read it. Trump forgot soon as he looked over at the new ballroom location. Oh, yeah, that was hilarious. He's excited about he gets to put a huge painting of himself there. So there's quite a few conservative readers in my LCBS. The incident with the writer was bad timing. Red Hood had a great run with Lobel Rockefort. No doubt they cooking something else up for him. Sir Gonzo says, yeah, I was going to put a poll up, but I decided against it. And it really isn't even that much that it matters. I feel like I know the answer. Again, I've read letters pages and I am friends with people from Twitter and I know what the deal is, what the score is. And I know what the score is in California too. Everybody thinks it's like some fucking like crazy liberal, state, but it's just not. I remember getting like crazy arguments with people as a youth, ever since the 80s, I've always thought somebody that moved to Texas or Phoenix or Arizona from California is a Republican. You know what I mean? It's not even necessarily that big a deal because I've grown up now. During the Palin and McCain days, Bush was a Nazi and Bush was the Nazi. And these people are even worse. How could I have said that? But what they were doing was really bad. The fact that they were trying to introduce her so that she could be a vice president, that wasn't taking it seriously. And I suggest that you can take a look at the Republican Party right now, and you can, I mean, if you can really take a look at it, you might suggest that they haven't been serious all the way back then. Like, wow, Bush Cheney was their most serious. Think about that. Those were horrible times. And I know there's a lot of people that are readers right now. They weren't even alive during that time. And they are down with the Red Hood series. I know the score. I know that I'm outnumbered if I got every comic book fan together. You know what I mean? I know. But I'm also louder and more assertive. I guess I'm a little bit more alpha. I'm willing to get my ugly face punched in. No political agendas in Top Gun, to be fair. No, not at all. You could just immerse yourself in it without drinking through a fire hose of propaganda a la Star Wars. That's true. At least within the movie. But the thing is like when the military is spending our money to make them look better in a really good Tom Cruise flick, I think it's dripping of propaganda. You know, think about that for a second. LOL, no politics in Top Gun. Yeah, what about the woman-man dynamic and the I didn't see this, but Serganzo says Maverick was a cinematic endeavor. Awesome cinematography and cool dogfights. Well, Fantino must be asleep or working because he'd be in on this conversation right now. Jagron's headed to bed. Spider Guy says the first Top Gun was heavy and male erotica, as we all know, of course. I mean, anytime you have that many shirtless dudes right off the bat. And then, of course, that Goose Maverick love relationship, right? And then the ice making it a whole menage thing, right? The reason that they canceled Red Hood is because it existed merely as an excuse to give some work to that writer. Once those tweets came out, that charity gesture was no longer needed. So I'm going to say that all right, so the Nazi bit was probably going a little too far. I would have probably just stuck with racist. Maybe bigoted if I wanted to be nice about the person. But there's a bunch of things. So I think racism can just work its way through. Yeah, saying shit about 9/11, you know, it's very little edgy humor that I think that I'm going to be down with. Like everybody has their breaking point. I've said it before. I don't care about any of these adaptations. Just don't fuck up this character. Everybody's going to have that thing where it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. Why are these people upset about this? Why do people care about how much money this makes? Why are people even talking about this? Did you see what they did to this? Oh no. What's homoerotic about playing with the boys, you mean? I mean, the reason they canceled the book instead of giving it to another writer. I see what you're saying. Yeah, for sure. I miss Dick Cheney. I gotta get back to this one. Remember when he shot someone in the face and made him apologize for it on national TV? Dick Cheney, man, that guy's cold. You know what would have happened if he had my way? No guns, no shot in the face. That guy did apologize. I got in the way. I shouldn't have gotten in the way. You know what my problem was? I looked too much like a duck. Or whatever they were hunting. I don't know. All right, let's talk about some new comics that are coming out tomorrow. I need to get the video. It's right here.
Why, we sell a dozen a day in this price range.
Who buys them? Tax collectors?
Even if I had to pay, it would be worth it. Just for the occasion.
What, is something big going on somewhere?
What's going on right here? It's a big night.
Well, it's just an old run-of-the-mill Wednesday. Well, the calendar's full of them.
That's right. Let me get that banner up. It's right here. 9/17. That's tomorrow, Wednesday. Oh, don't lament comic books being too expensive or there being too many of them, because I know I say winter is coming, but boy, oh boy, you're going to be able to light your fireplace with all the comics that are coming out. Are you allowed to burn wood anymore? Don't buy this. Don't burn this stuff. It's bad paper. You don't want to inhale it. Let me, I'm going to do the small one. Yeah, right down there. Oh, I love to start off with this. I've read about half of this book already. I have it right here. It's square bound. It costs $7.99. It's from Image, and it's by David and Maria Lapham and Dee Cunliffe. Dee Cunliffe is a colorist. That's pretty interesting because let me tell you a little something about Mike Jesus. That's Mike Allred. Never mind. Going to tell you a Mike Allred story. That's coming up. David Lapham and Maria Lapham. They're a married couple, and they work on Good as Dead. And this is the first half of the book was excellent. I like these two. Good art. David's great. Coming up next, we have a facsimile of a Batman #1. Yeah, it's $10, but it's also golden size, just like it originally was. I got a few of them because I like to get the big ones for people. I like to give the big ones to people. Magic the Gathering #1. Oh, damn. I'm going to have to make myself big. Untold Stories of Elspeth #1. Man, guys, I'm telling you. All right. Why do I do this at Magic the Gathering? Because I've been really excited for Magic the Gathering Spider-Man set that's coming up, and I put a gazillion on an order. And you're going to hear about allocations from everybody. And you're going to see inflated prices right from the get-go. You're going to think it was a Red Hood #1. That's just one pack. You're going to think this was a Labubu. Ain't nobody that wanted a box of anything is getting it. That's just the reality of the situation. And it hurts my heart to say, including me, I will suffer the same fate as the rest of you. And anything that you will have to pay, I will make sure I have to pay also. So, no discounts. And no gripes. And I'm sorry. I did it. I did it the way it needed to be done. It was out of my control. A game store will have multiple accounts when they're doing these card games things. But since I'm not an everyday buyer at the place, my order, even though placed 7 months ago, didn't matter. Fuck Wizards of the Coast. So don't compound it by not buying Magic the Gathering and Untold Tales of Elspeth. Actually, I under-ordered on this, and I just wanted to bring it up so that you knew that I wasn't getting my Spidey-Man cards. Oh, I can't laugh on that. X-O Man of War, the Valiant Beyond universe continues. How are they going to F this one up? Actually, The Harbinger was pretty good that came out last week. And who knows? Steve Orlando has written a couple of okay things for Marvel recently. Maybe he won't suck on this. Regardless of the story, you know this one's going to look great. Anytime Jay Lee's an artist, you got to pay attention. And the third issue of 3 comes out. This ends tonight. Noise. I was watching a show earlier about comics, and it's more than one person talking as they were going through all the different books. And I kept hearing noise. And I know I do that a lot when I trip over a word and just keep saying it. But noise, and I just couldn't stand listening in it. Noise. Casey Jones. This is like the first Casey Jones miniseries in over 30 years. Or was it 24? Something like that. Who's the writer on this? I think it's Dan Waters. Yeah, I think it's Dan Waters. Anyway, pretty awesome. Looking forward to that. Star Wars Boba Fett, black, white, and red. It's a bunch of different people doing a bunch of different Boba Fett stories, all in black and white with a splash of red. Predator Kills the Marvel Universe 2. The first one sold pretty darn well. I only have one variant copy of number 1 left. But I did tighten my numbers up just a bit. So this should be an interesting number, and see interesting if everybody gets it like they want to. Marvel Zombies number 1. This is a Marvel Red Band comic. It's bagged. It's written by Parker and Sheridan. Not the bad Parker or the bad Sheridan, just someone's I don't know. I did read the comic book. Well, mostly paged through it and read some words. It's pretty freaking awesome. I didn't want to like it, just like I didn't want to like Marvel Zombies all the way back when. But good first issue. New Avengers features the Illuminati. I don't know what that means because I haven't been reading it, but people have been enjoying it quite a bit in my store. Sam Humphries is a pretty darn good writer. Don't let that bestiality best friend story affect your opinion of him. He still writes some pretty darn good yarns. G.I. Joe number 11. Is this the time Baroness finally turns? This monthly comic is written by Joshua Williamson of Superman fame and maybe KO eventually. Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Got to pay attention all of a sudden, right, Jagron? I know you went to bed, but Black Cat alert, Black Cat alert. New Gods number 10. 2 more issues to go. People have been loving the series, and the trade just came out of the first 6 issues. Get caught up and purchase the issues now. Batman and Robin, year 1, number 11. This is by Mark Waid and Chris Samney. How in the hell did Mark Waid not say anything stupid on last Wednesday? I mean, seriously, if I was going to bet, you're going to have a pool and you're going to who's going to say something stupid about the next tragedy that befalls a conservative? Ding, Mark Waid. Number 1 answer, Mark Waid. But he didn't, so you can buy that book. Battle Beast, number 5. This one's been trucking along. Got a lot of people liking it, and I'm happy for that. Nightwing, number 130. Dan Waters is writing this book, and it's been good by all accounts. I've read about 3 or 4 issues of it, and I dig it. And the last of the plebe comics, we've got Absolute Flash number 7. Jeff Lemire is writing. I couldn't tell you who's doing the art, It's been selling okay, a little bit better than Green Lantern, but these are two of the bottom comics as far as the absolute series are concerned. If you need a ranking, it would go Green Lantern last, just above that Flash, just above that Martian Manhunter, Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman. All right, let's go to the cigarette books. Coming in first, we're going to have The Hulk, number 29. Philip Kennedy Jones is still writing this book, and I don't know who the artist is. Gorham. Yeah, it's all right. Fantastic Four, number 3. The second issue was pretty good. They kind of like solved the situation and got thrown back into it, kind of a standstill storyline. While One World Under Doom kind of affects them, but also doesn't. It's good Fantastic Four, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Just kind of waiting. Ultimate Black Panther, number 20. I guess I don't really need to say much more than that. Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone. Oh, that Luciano Vecchio is on art. Yay. Second to last book, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 12, Joe Kelly. Ooh, Ed McGuinness. Look at all those guest stars on the cover. Why, it's a spider smorgasbord. Just not the one with Peter Parker under the mask. And lastly, we have Ultimates number 16 by Denise Camp. Excellent. Let's do this. Ooh, it's getting hot. And I got some television to watch. Let me do this. Yeah, and I think I have a salad still I'm going to work with. Can't wait. Let's see here. Everybody gets short on magic cards. Let's see our idiots. Oh my god, I'm so. Would I have had to order 30 to even get close to what I wanted? Boxes for do I need to buy a room's worth of stuff? What if they said, yeah, you can get it all? Oh man. Risque J. Lee variant. Noise. Exactly. I love Fett. I don't know why. Because there's something about the character design that was perfect. And it's not rational in any way. Boba Fett's never done anything that was cool in any of the movies that count. In fact, most of the Fett action was Django, right? That's DJ, right? Django. My neighbor is a fanatic. Also, Mark Wade. Did Mark Wade's wife take away his phone? Not your mint says. Does he married? What day is Batman Day? I think it's the 27th. Let me I'll look right now for you. So what I'm doing right now is I'm accessing the store's computer. And oh look, Lunar's open. I'm just gonna go to the dashboard and see what it says about. Ooh, I did something exciting. Let me. What is Batman Day? So Batman Day reminder. Batman Day. No, it's 9/20. Excuse me. So I'll have some things. I don't think they're really that exciting. DC made their compact books that if I bought a shit ton of them, that I could get a free stand. And I'm going to be doing that. Wait, I don't know. Is there any historical meaning of the day? Battle Buddy says. I don't know what you're asking. Which day? 9/11? Yeah, maybe. It's not really that big a deal anymore. Thanks to all the people that are patrons of ours. I run these scroll, but be a patron. You love the store, you love the show, you this poor guy is out here sweating profusely with the fan that he has sitting right here off. I gotta throw him a buck. You do it the Patreon way so that you can be seen, unlike this guy.
You know, my last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you and I are kind of like countrymen. Huh?
Paisanos.
$6.50 your change. Ah, yes. And I always take care of my paisanos. So here's a little something.
Antonio!
Sí.
Vieni qua! Questa miserabile patrona!
LOL, I think he means Batman Day. Does he? Spider Guy at Battle Buddy, it's the day you'll get more copies of the blind bag. Yeah, right. Oh, that'd be wonderful if that happened. Whew, baby. I gotta wipe my brow. I guess that's it. Thanks for everybody for listening to me rant. Nobody said I was unreasonable about my having to do something about guns. I wasn't really even trying to say that we needed to get rid of guns, but everybody jumped down my throat like that was the case. And I really think that explains gun culture more than almost any other thing. And if you can say that somebody has had a problem and can do something about it, but the reason why you're not doing anything about it is because the problem exists, then seriously, you really doing anything? Hopefully I won't have to play another video like this next week. Just the Frank one, just for one little shooting. Not two big ones, two big important ones. Just a couple more school shootings. I put that thing not under political violence, but under school shootings, because first and foremost, it was a school shooting. Peace.
Lucy and Ramona cruising through the jungles of L.A. Hoping to promote a dream somewhere along the way. They're rolling through the streets, looking for a disco, passing up the treats from a kid named Cisco, trying to make connections with their blemish-free complexions, and just as fate would have it, ended up with Sunset Sam. Sam was selling watches from a suitcase on a TV tray. And Lucy and Ramona were trying to figure out if he was gay. The three of them were standing, staring at each other, when the light behind their eyes blew each other's cover. The ancient code was branded, and each of them was handed a ticket to their kingdom, 'cause they saw their brother Sunset Sam. Sunset Sam. Lucy was from Compton, and she met Ramona at the zoo. Ramona was from Brooklyn, but she left when she was 22. Sam was a native of the Arizona desert, but he split when he was slated for some governmental make-work. Their differences subsided when the common bond was sighted. They were all from the same place that made the famous Sunset Sam.